You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Y&R fans. Belinda from Soap Dirt here with some exciting spoilers for next week, some big casting news, and a giant twist in the making that could send a legacy character to prison. It is all going down the week of May 27th through the 31st on the CBS soap opera. So let's dig into all of it. But first, subscribe if you've not yet, please. That's so good for our channel and we appreciate it. All right, so let's just start with a couple of spoilers that we have from the new promo for next week. They usually give us 3 or 4 vignettes, little scenes, but this week just 2, which is kind of strange and kind of skimpy, and only one of them, honestly, for things that fans are actually excited about, which is very bizarre given how hit and miss the ratings are lately. You think they would give us better promos. So first we have Billy Abbott chatting with Jill Abbott on a video call. I know Jess Walton doesn't want to leave her ranch, but video calls just do not do much for me in the grand scheme of soap plots. So what we know going into this call next week on Young and the Restless is that Jill is taking a step back and has handed all her power over to Billy Boy Abbott to wield in her place. It seems like she's on some sort of leave of absence maybe, and she didn't give Lily very much warning as far as her CEO is concerned. So we have Billy in the CEO office and his mom on the big screen TV on the wall. And he says, okay, so what do we do now? And his mom, Jill, says, just keep this to yourself. I don't want anyone else to know. So what doesn't she want people to know? This could be simply more about problems with Mamie, something about corporate issues with that Daniel lawsuit or some division struggling, or maybe something's wrong with Jill. You know, could be she's having some sort of medical crisis that is forcing her to take a step back, but she doesn't want anyone else to know just yet. I mean, that could be intriguing, right? Okay. The second scene of the promo, which is the only other scene in the promo and the only scene in the promo that to me is interesting, is Dr. Alan Laurent with Ashley Abbott talking in what looks like his room at the GCAC. So remember, last we saw Ashley, her alter, Ms. Abbott, lured Tucker McCall into the Neil Winters Jazz Lounge with plans to kill him and frame Audra, but her alters had a little altercation, pun intended, and there was just too much noise in Ashley's head, and she fainted in Tucker's arms, and she came to very disoriented, not knowing where she was, how she got there. Tucker took her home to her family. She was very confused, and of course, Jack was kind of a jerk to him, but Tucker just warned them, take care of her, and he left, which, you know, he's doing the right thing. So that takes us to the action coming next week when Ashley is spending time alone with her friend Alan, the former shrink, and she seems to be in control of herself. She seems to be her old self unless one of her alters is controlling her, but doing it very well. So Dr. Laurent says, these personalities, they think they're doing the right thing, Ashley. They think they're protecting you, but the fact that they exist at all means that there's something terribly wrong. And Ashley says, well, what are they protecting me from? So that is the question of the hour, the big question. There is some trauma around the time of when she and Tucker were in Paris, before that big argument with Tucker where he said he didn't do what she said he did and she insisted he did. And remember, Dr. Laurent is a friend of hers from Paris, so it'd be kind of diabolical if he was somehow involved in this mystery trauma and was like secretly a villain or something, and he's there to keep her quiet. I mean, that'd be soapy, but I doubt that Josh Griffith is that creative. So we'll see. So big news about a return, a legacy child return. Looks like we should expect Reylynn Caster back as Faith Newman in a few weeks. We are a month away from July sweeps, believe it or not, since we just finished the tail end of May sweeps. July sweeps kicks off the 3rd week of June. So Faith could be back for summer sweeps or as part of the usual summer storylines where they use more of the younger crowd while the vets take their summer vacations. So here's this new pic that I want to show you, released by CBS, and it's a new PR pic of Nick with Sharon, and with them are Tessa, Mariah, and holy cow, there's Faith Newman. I just did a standalone video about Sharon needing a new love interest, or just any love interest, any storyline. And of course, I talked about a possible chic reunion because Sharon and Nick have a legion of fans. And then I saw this pic that just came out, and I was like, maybe they really will go there and make fans happy and give them something nice. Last we saw Faith, she had just come off the trauma of being kidnapped by Cameron Kirsten, watching her mom stab the guy to death in the sewer right in front of her, if I'm recalling that last scene correctly. And then Faith wanted to go back to school without that poor cat that Cameron murdered. She said she'd feel safer at school. Now she's back. Pretty fun stuff. Wouldn't it be great if like Reed Hellstrom also came back and we had that younger person scene? I think that'd be fun. Maybe Claire in the mix. We'll see. And finally, this is going to be addressed more thoroughly, I'm sure, when we have the full roster of weekly spoilers for the week of May 27th. But you'll see in that video will come out tomorrow, but on the Friday cliffhanger episode of Y&R, there's a huge scene with Victor versus Cole and Michael, and it's about Jordan. So Michael orchestrates this lunch to get Victor out of the way. Then he texts Cole to meet him. They go to the ranch and they head down into the secret cellar to release Jordan, turn her over to the police. But Victor is 2 moves ahead of them. He shows up at the basement jail and tells them he'll be damned if they take her out of there. So what's to be done? So this is the legacy character I mentioned that could face arrest. I mean, how does Victor explain this? How does Victor get away with this? If Jordan were turned over to the cops and accused Victor of holding her prisoner, he'd be hard-pressed to destroy that cellar and all the DNA evidence that she was being held down there. Maybe he can convince Michael and Cole to let him deal with her, but I doubt it. Frankly, I feel like Jordan in the cell clinging to the last remnants of this storyline is so painful. I don't need it. We don't need it. She should have been, gone with a bang in May sweeps, because now I just want this over. I don't care about the Brussels sprouts torture. It's not waterboarding, It's been going on way, way too long, like a bad Saturday Night Live skit. Please make it end. We'll see. Stay tuned tomorrow for your full roster of weekly spoilers. Subscribe if you haven't. Definitely come back soon. We are here talking Young the Restless 7 days a week. And as always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.